What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you all for being here. It is the 25th day of February, and it's the shortest month of the year, but I swear, man, this month has lasted longer than any month over the past year. Hit that like button, subscribe, thank you all for being here. Here we are. 66.2K, 10 hours, 30 minutes left in the day. We are moving up. We have found a potential low. And I do want to see, is this low adequate first and foremost? Yes, that is an adequate low. It is completely possible where for a while now, I've been calling for lower lows with the exception that we could find a higher low, but we've been calling for lower lows. It is possible right now that this is the low. Now, what I want to see out of this is a couple of things. First and foremost, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. But when you go from a low to a high, and then subsequently you retrace down to your golden ratio, which we did not do here, nor here. This was the first time we went to the golden ratio, right? Whenever you go through this, and we're on a daily time frame, you can see it looks like we just broke right through the golden ratio in one attempt. Whenever you do that, you break through it in one fell swoop like this. We did see a little volatility for a moment, but basically broke through it in one fell swoop. Typically, you get some volatility, and you do come back up to this area if you go back down, and you typically come back to this area if you're looking to proceed higher. But sometimes you hit this area and still find resistance and still proceed lower. So all I'm getting to here is that in these kind of dynamics, in this kind of situation, this exact situation that we're in right now, we can see a lot of volatility and still mark our way to the downside. We could see a higher high relative to this here and still come down to our downside. So what do we need to see to validate this as a low? Technically, what we need to see is prices above $69.2 thousand. That's what we need. And actually, I think that price is wrong. It'd probably be more appropriate to 68.8K, to say something like that. Bounced right off the 786 area. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. But the question here is, does this persist, or is this just another bull trap, bull trap, bull trap? Is it just another moment where people get excited and it's a lower high and we are persisting lower? If we do persist lower, the expected target area is something between about 58.8K to 53.9K. Okay, sub 60K. But this is a suitable area to find a low. For the first time in over a week, we actually have something that is suitable for a low that we could actually rely on to move above these prices. I'm not saying that yet. I'm just saying that this is suitable. Let's look at the short-term stuff, see what we can come up with, and what we should be expecting over the coming days. 1 hour time frame here, you're at a point where you found resistance before, and you don't have a lot of volume. That's not making me too excited, though. To be fair, you don't really need a lot of volume here. You need it once you get above these highs. So if we do move above these highs and the volume dies off, or it doesn't increase, right? We don't see something that's larger than this spike, then likely we're going to come back down. We should, if we're breaking out, we should have a breakout move and breakout volume that corresponds with that breakout. If we're not breaking out, then we should have volume and a move that corresponds with not breaking out. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. So 1 hour indicators here. The RSI looks pretty good, not gonna lie. The stochastics look pretty good. And the MACD actually doesn't look half bad, if I'm being honest. It looks better than it does worse. If I was looking at this and I didn't know what chart it was, I didn't know it was Bitcoin or anything else, and I just looking at it on the 1 hour time frame, yeah, I would think that we move up. We move up from here. That doesn't mean this is the low, but I would think that we move up from here. So then if we're establishing that we move up from here, what we need to see is a breakout move with breakout volume. That's what we need. Anything less would be an implication that we are about to send it to the downside and that this is one big trap. So again, if we move up here and it's a very minor move, we find resistance at prior support and we come back down below these levels here, and all of that happens with volume that does not exceed these levels here. If the volume does exceed these levels, but it happens on the selling, that's not what I'm talking about. It needs to happen on the pumping. If we don't get that, then likely we will reject and we will come back down. Again, one last time, we can get above these highs and still reject down. But for what it's worth, the 1 hour indicators certainly are suggesting that we do move higher from here. So that's good. With that perspective carried on to the 4 hour time frame, we take this relative high to this relative low here, and you can see here that you're actually looking pretty good, man, honestly. 382, 236, and back up. Yeah, you're statistically speaking right now, you have a really solid probability of going to the golden ratio zone, which, guys, at this point, this is where things start to get interesting, because I know that I said 68.8K. Oh, I guess actually that would get us back above that level. Wow. I mean, the golden ratio is at 68.4K. It's not just getting above 68.8K. Again, we derived that target, 68.8K, from this low to this high, not incorporating the fake out high. The 236 level here lines up directly with the golden ratio level from this high to this low. The 236 from this low to this high lines up directly with the golden ratio. It's all in the same area. So statistically speaking, just based off of this fib, we have a high probability of going to this area, and that's great. But what we'd like to see, if we're validating that this is the low, is multiple 4 hour time frames that close above this level. Ideally, multiple daily time frames as well. We get a day to close above there, and at that point, this is the low. This is the low. We're in a weird situation right now. We're in a really weird situation right now because I'm basically calling for us to move exactly up to this area, while simultaneously not saying that we found the low. But I kind of want to. I want to say that that's the low, just looking at this right now. But I want to see more first. Again, if this is a fake out and we find resistance at 67K, and then we come back down to these prices are lower, then likely we are going to go lower. So I want to hold my tongue there a little bit, but things are looking exciting, you guys. I'm not going to lie. Things are actually looking kind of exciting right now, just based off the 1 hour and the 4 hour. The RSI... The RSI with a nice bounce. You did have some bullish divergence, to be fair. All of that's played out, though, and now you're at the same area that you were here when you found resistance and you came down, where you found resistance and you came down, you found resistance and you came down, you found resistance and you came down. You know, you're not exactly at any of those areas that I circled, except maybe this one. You're in that realm, right? Again, can we move higher? Sure, but is this going to be a fake it moment? Are we going to break back down? Statistically speaking right now, based off the fibs, just the fibs alone, and even incorporating the 1 hour time frame in there, statistically speaking, guys, we have a really good chance of going up to this golden ratio zone. But if we can't get above 67.2K and instead we find resistance there and we come back down below 66K, this was a fake out. This is a fake breakout from these highs here. We just formed another lower high there, and we're coming down. So watch for that. Again, I'm going to try to be as very specific as possible. We are at 66.3K now. If we move above 68.8K, that's great, but we want to close above there on a 4 hour time frame. If we get tied up at 67K and... Okay, it's not just finding resistance here, but we find resistance there, and we get 4 hour time frames, 2 4 hour time frames in a row to close below 66K, then this is not the low. We are likely going lower. Stochastics look great. RSI, for what it's worth, it doesn't look half bad here. But again, just recent history makes me cautious. The MACD, it doesn't look the best. I don't know. I don't know what to make of the MACD. You've got room to move up, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you keep going. Curious to see. Curious to see. I'm hesitant. I'm definitely hesitant to call this low. Bitcoin's been very, very tricky. We got 10 hours left in this day. We could do both things, guys. We could go all the way up to 68K, even just above 68K. Maybe we go to 69K, but we don't close any 4 hour time frames there. We come right back down, all in the same 24 hour period. It's Wednesday. It certainly will be interesting to see what happens over the coming 24 hours, I would say. I don't really have anything else to say. Hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Again, I believe we're moving up. The call at the moment is that we are going to move somewhere between $68.3 to $69,000. If we stop anywhere lower than that and return to prices that are below 66K, That was the high, and we are not prevailing as this with the low. We are going lower. Again, if we stop anywhere lower than this and we go back to below 66K, this is likely not the low. If we move up from here and we stop at the golden ratio zone and we pull back and we don't go below 66K, we find support somewhere between 67.2 to 66K, and then we move back up above the golden ratio. At that point, this is the low. There's no way to deny it. I would even start getting excited at this point here, as long as we're closing above 68.8K. But if not, again, there's still a possibility where you could get a slightly higher high than this high here and still go lower if you go below 66K. 66K is a very important level. Now, what I will say real quick is that, and I don't think this is going to happen based off the short-term stuff, but for whatever reason, if we were to go below 66K right now, that technically isn't that bad. We could come down to 64.6K and find support right now. But if we move higher, if we make this move right now and then come back down, then it's bad. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. Ultimately, as long as we're holding 66K, I'm bullish. Yeah. At least to 68.3, 69K. And then from there, what we're looking for, if we remain bullish, is support in this area, which is at 67.2 to 66K, and then a move back above the golden ratio, taking out this lower high dynamic. If we're bearish, you want to find resistance here or at any point lower and go below 66K, in which case we would expect 58.8K to 53.4K as a price target area, probably by the end of the month, if not sometime in the beginning of March. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. That's a nice bounce off the oversold zone on the RSI. The RSI is weird right now, guys. It's supposed to be bearish, but you're very resilient. Stochastics too. And the MACD, I don't know, man. It's bearish overall, but there's some oddly bullish things going on right now. 10 hours left in the day. Let's see how it goes. Hit that like button. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.